Welcome to your Barbados Today evening news update for Tuesday, March 26. Thanks for joining us. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. We begin this evening with reaction to government's plan to offer bus fare discounts to frequent travelers on transport board buses. Opposition leader Bishop Joseph Atherley has welcomed the news made by Prime Minister Mia Mottley in Parliament last night, following last week's announcement of the increase in bus fare from $2 to $3.50. The Prime Minister disclosed that the Ministry of Transport will roll out 10, 14, 20 and 28 trip tickets with discounts ranging from 30 cents to 50 cents per bus ride, depending on the amount of tickets purchased. Atherley, who expressed concerns about the hike, which goes into effect on April 15, believes the discount will offer some ease to those who depend on public transportation. However, he tells Barbados Today he still has some questions.
Well, I'm glad for the discounting arrangements, which would have been referred to yesterday by the Prime Minister. It's a ticketing system, apparently. So there will still remain with me some questions because it's not fully rolled out. She said it's not fully rolled out. And especially if the private sector operators are going to be part of the arrangements. You obviously will still have some questions as to how that's going to work with the ticketing system, the 10-day, 20-day, 28-day, 14-day, that type of stuff. But at least those discounts should help to ameliorate the burden on those who would feel it most were they're not in place. But we wait to see what is involved in the full rollout.
At the same time, two senators are of the view that the discounted tickets will not protect or ease the most vulnerable in society. Opposition Senator Caswell Franklin and Independent Senator Lindell Nurse are both concerned about how the new measure will work for those who earn minimum wage and are not in a position to pay for the discounted tickets up front.
The Transport Board has about 40 buses running. Any day come. And I heard the minister earlier spoke about these transfers, and you will get credits and stuff when you buy a set of tickets or whatever. To travel on what? They need 120 buses a day. They have 40. So you have 40. So I'm going to transfer to a minibus, and then who can get, where the minibus can get paid from? These things need to be thought out before implementation, sir. Sounds pretty. Sounds real nice. But talk to the fellow from St. Lucie that I spoke to, who says that they don't get a bus in the morning, so they have to catch a minibus to Spikestown. And then from Spikestown, they have to catch a bus into Bridgetown. And this particular fellow told me the guy working in Wildy.
Senator Nurse said he had no difficulty with an increase in bus fare, but commuters in turn deserved substantial improvements to the bus system.
You cannot ask commuters to pay $3.50 and still continue with the level of indifferent, bad service which they currently receive. You can't ask a commuter to be paying $3.50 and yet they have to sit in the bus stand for 4 hours before they can get a bus. And we have all seen those tales and those stories documented.
Meantime, a president of the Barbados Association of Guidance Counselors, Margaret Grant, believes the increase in bus fares will have a negative impact on families who are already finding it difficult to send their children to school. She is, however, of the view that the situation creates the opportunity for schools and non-governmental organizations to come together and create programs to help those most in need. Grant was speaking to reporters on the sidelines of the 13th National Career Showcase at the Lloyd Erskine Sandyford Center this afternoon.
In every school, I believe there is a program that is designed to help students who are in need, whether it be breakfast or lunch and bus fare. Well, see that the Transport Board used to have the school children free, but then that wasn't an issue in terms of providing bus fare. But we know also that the Transport Board has its limitations, so some children are forced to catch the vans, the private PSVs. Of course, it would create a challenge, but I think it would also push schools, Parent Teachers Association, NGOs to now come together and see how we can help each other. But at the same time, rather than looking out, within each school, I think there's some programs that can be developed that can really have some fundraising events that can really go towards a fund to help children who are in need. So I think it's just a matter of looking out for each other and being creative at the same time.
Operations resumed at the Winston Scott Polyclinic this morning following its closure last week due to security concerns. From as early as 11 a.m. today, people waited outside to access care at the Gemmett's Lane St. Michael Clinic, which was closed after workers raised concern about their safety and also to facilitate the cleaning of that building. However, they had to comply with new security measures, including bag searches. Secondary school students are being challenged to move away from traditional career fields. The advice from trustee of the Sandy Lane Charitable Trust, Philippa Chalice. She was speaking at the start of the two-day National Career Showcase at the Lloyd Erskine Sandyford Center.
The world is changing so fast that the traditional careers of my day are not necessarily the most stable. They're not necessarily the most prosperous careers that you guys are going to be looking at in the next 20 or 30 years' time.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To news from the region now, striking firefighters in St. Lucia are back on the job following 10 days of industrial action. We get more of this story from HTS News Force.
Members basically agreed that on the concession made by the Ministry of Home Affairs to remove the contracts for probationers, that we would report in for duty on that concession. Again, as an act of good faith, because we felt that the ministry had done something that we requested as an association. That letter is informing the Prime Minister of our decision, and to also inform him that whilst on duty, whereas he had agreed in his letter to give immediate attention to the other things that we presented to him, that we have provided timelines for those things to be done.
This may just be a short respite. The situation is far from resolved. On Monday morning, the Firefighters Association handed their letter to the Minister for National Security and to the Prime Minister. Included in the letter is a list of demands and a timetable for the completion of each one of those demands.
And finally, all criminal charges against Empire actor Jesse Somlet have been dropped and his record has been wiped clean. It comes less than 2 weeks after Somlet pleaded not guilty to 16 counts of disorderly conduct for allegedly lying to police about a hate crime. The Cook County State's Attorney's Office called the development a just disposition and appropriate resolution to this case, although it was unclear what prompted the move to drop the charges. And that's news. But for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Isolate Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. And you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Good evening.